Alright, this is my 4th video for the Staar EOC. Alright, so the painter charges $35 per hour. What did I teach you about per hour? That means what? That's going to be your what? Slope. So I'm going to start drawing. Writing the y equals what, y'all? mx plus what? b. So we know our slope is going to be what? 35. Says it right there per hour. For labor plus a $40 ladder rental or fee. So that's an automatic fee. Doesn't matter how many hours you get. It's an automatic fee. So that goes in the back. That's the y-intercept. How much you have to pay up front. Okay? Sometimes it says fee. Sometimes it says rental fee. Right here it just says rental. Alright, the customers provide. So we already have an equation. We're halfway done. So the customer provides the paint. The total charge to paint a customer's house. So y is $9.50. Right? So what we can do is plug that equation in and mess with x until we get a number close to $9.50. Right? I recommend that. Use your calculator, right? Why are you gonna break yourself stretch yourself out. So we're gonna plug in 35x plus what, y'all? 40, the equation. Now we put second table. What we're gonna do is we're gonna mess with x, right? That's the number of hours, because the question is how many what? Hours until we get what? A total of 950, right? So let's see. Right, on our table, we're going to find out what x gives us 950. Let's try 12. I think it says 12 and 2/3. 2/3, 1/3 is 3/3. 2/3 is 0.66. So 12.66. Let's just try 12, y'all. Let's see what happens. 12 is 460. Let's try 13. Still too small. Let's try 28. Oh, that's too big. It passed 950, right? So it's smaller than, it's not 28. Let's try 25. And that's too small. Let's try 26. It's 26, y'all. So is the answer there? No. It's not here. There's very few problems on this test that's going to say not here. So I want you to consider them. But don't always consider not here, because a lot of people pick not here. But on this test, there's not going to be that many not here. They're not trying to be tough on you. Okay? But I wouldn't really consider them, but try to figure it out. And if it's not there, if you still can't find it, then there's a possibility it might be not there. Okay? So now number 7. Let me set my watch so I won't go over. Alright, 17. Okay, right away let's analyze the graph before we read anything. Right? We know one thing, that it intercepts. We know one thing, that G is a negative slope. A positive slope. Positive. And we know that F is a what? Negative slope. We also know that the y-intercept here is what? 3. The y-intercept here of G is -2. Okay, now let's look at the question, what they're asking. It says at the top, the slope of and y-intercept of the graph F were changed to make the graph G as shown below. Which statement describes the change that were made to the graph of F to make graph G? Okay, as you notice, there's 2 changes, y'all. There's a y-intercept change and there's a slope change. Okay, the easiest one you could tell is the y-intercept. Okay, so they want us to know how we went from F to G. So we started at F. Which one's F? This is F, the one going down. So we start here at 3 and we go down to what? -2. How many times down? How many units do we go down from here to here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go down 5. So you see where it says decrease? 5 on the y-intercept. So we're gonna, here it says increase, so we're gonna cancel out B and we're gonna cancel out D. Okay? Now it says the slope was multiplied by 2. The slope was multiplied by -2. Okay? If we multiply the slope by a positive number, it's gonna stay what? Positive. Like, my bad, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. If we multiply this negative slope by a positive, it stays what? Negative. It doesn't change to a positive. The only way it can change to a positive is if we multiply it by what number, y'all? Good, a negative. Because if we multiply the slope as negative, and if we multiply it by another negative, a -2, we're going to get a what, y'all? A positive slope. And that's how you get G. So we're going to multiply it by a positive -2. Okay? You can go over that one if you didn't get it the first time, so you can understand like what I say. And you can go over these problems. That's why I made these videos. It's taking me a long time. It's already like 12:25 a.m. But I got to work tomorrow. But I really want to help y'all, right? So make sure you watch these videos and take advantage of it. All right. The population of a town is currently 9,000. The function P is equal to 9,000 plus 8t squared. Can it be used to estimate P, the population of the town T years from now, based on this function? Which statement is true? Okay, I see a function, right? Let's type it in the calculator, just because. Let's just type it in, right? Because it's good to use your resources, right? Plus 8x squared. Second table, delete. All right, so here it says the first one says the population of the town is increasing at a constant rate. It's not increasing at a constant rate, y'all. That's only when it's linear. See how it has that 2 here? That means it's quadratic. So it's not at a constant rate. Constant rate is just for linear stuff, right? That's when the x is just x, not x squared, right? It's just when it's x, right? Look at G. It says the population of the town will reach 10,000 between 11 and 12 years from now. T, right? X is basically time. So let's plug in to 11. What is that? 9,968. Let's plug in 12. Bam, it jumped to 10,151. So it's correct. Between these 2 years, it gets to what, y'all? 10,000, right? And between these 2 years, right? So then the answer is going to be what, y'all? G. Okay? This next one here, number 19, right? It says the graph of y equals 3x squared is shown below. So that's the graph that's below. It's good to read it. Okay? See it's x at -2, right? It's positive, so it's open upward, right? It says if the coefficient of x is changed from a 3 to another positive number to create a new function. So basically, what happens when you change this 3, okay, to another positive? What's going to happen, right? Let's try it. Let's try to plug in the calculator 4x squared, or smaller than that would be what? 2x squared. So let's plug in these in the calculator. You know what? I'm going to use, take that back. I'm going to use 5, and then I'm going to use 1. Okay? So I'm going to plug in all of those in the calculator, right? So 3x squared is the one that they have. 3x squared, right? -2. And then the other one is what? 5x squared, right? That's if it gets bigger. This is what happens if it gets smaller, right? Let's see what happens to the graphs. What do you notice? That's the original one. One gets what? Smaller, and the other one gets what? One gets more narrow, and the one gets more wider, right? Nothing happens. It says the x-intercepts of the new graph will be the same. No. Because look carefully. You see how here the x-intercept gets different? Right? When it opens up and it gets narrower. When it opens up, it's going to be more this way. So it's going to x-intercepts are going to change. They're not going to stay the same. The vertex of the new graph will be different from the vertex. No. What did y'all notice? That the vertex stays the what, y'all? Stays the same. Right? The vertex is always here. We don't change the vertex. We just change it if it's narrower, right? So it cannot be B. Now let's check C. The new graph will be wider or narrower than the original. That's what we concluded. But let's look at D. The new graph will be open in the opposite direction. No. The only time it'll be open in the opposite direction is if it's what? If it's a negative. And I'm going to show y'all real quick. Negative x squared, right, minus 2. So you see how it's open downward, upward, upward, and then you see how this one is downward. It only changes opposite direction when it's a negative number, right? So the answer would be C.